Hey, my name is Leah, and in today's video, we're going to talk about if I were to start my entire business from scratch today, the 3 different things that I would do differently. So I have a headshot photography business that I've had now for 10 years. I didn't start off that way. I started off doing everything, and I have finally niched on down to headshot photography. But in the very beginning, I had no idea how I could grow my business. That included everything from the marketing to who I was speaking to the different events that I was going to. So if I had to start all over today, knowing what I now know, a couple things that I would start off doing differently is I would figure out first exactly who it is that is my perfect client, who is my audience. In the very beginning, I was going to a lot of events. I was spending a lot of my time in the wrong places, which only meant I ended up wasting hundreds of hours, a lot of energy, but that was just all part of the process for me to be able to figure out where I should be and where I should not be. So that would be my first thing. I wasn't really focused on that, so I never really knew that I should be, considering, am I in the right places, or should I be reconsidering where I'm spending my time? So that's step number 1, is just know who I'm talking to. Step number 2 is I would need to figure out what is an amazing offer that I can say to people when I do meet them. Because in the very beginning, and even sometimes now, if I don't have a great, very specific offer for somebody, you meet someone who could be your perfect client, but you have no idea how to invite them to take the first step. For some people, it's, go to your website, download something, set up a meeting, set up a phone call, create a consultation with them just to make sure that you're answering all their questions. And that might be the offer. But I'm kind of thinking, like, let's go one step further. What is it? How can you actually get them in? Because I'm a headshot photographer, something that's really easy for me that I can do is I can just get them in for a session. They don't get any photos, they don't get any prints, they don't get anything with it, but more of a, hey, why don't you come on in and let's do some photos together and see, how you like the experience. If you love your photos, then you can purchase them. At the very beginning, that's what I ended up doing is I was offering, I had a session fee, but nobody wanted to pay a session fee because I hadn't proved myself at that time. Nobody knew of me. Nobody had heard of me, but I didn't want to just do a whole bunch of work 100% for free. So my really happy medium there was get people in to do the actual headshot session or the photo session. And then if they fell in love with their photos, then they could actually buy them. And so that seemed to work really well. And then eventually I started charging for my session, and then I ended up my session fee, and then I started adding, photographers onto my team. So then I could actually raise my headshot prices if people wanted to specifically work with me. So for you, think about what is it that is that step before they commit with you or before they make that sale with you. And then how do you create an offer that gets them there? Because, it's not always just going to be like a free PDF. For some people, it's a book. Get this free book, just pay shipping and handling. I'm sure you guys have seen those offers out there, all the ClickFunnels stuff, which a lot of times that's a really good offer because I know myself, I'll end up going, I'm like, oh great, it's just a free book. I'm just going to get the free book. Like I know what I'm getting ready to step into, but I still end up purchasing whatever program they have on the back end because they just do an amazing job at it. So step number 2 is, creating that offer that is impossible for your person to say no to, whether you're meeting them in person or online. And then step number 3 is once you've got that offer, get out and find people to offer it to. So that could be in person or it could be online. I would start off in person because it's much easier to create a connection and a relationship with somebody and to stand out with someone when you actually get to meet them face to face. You can follow up, have coffee with them, talk, get to know them, figure out what their pain points are. At the very beginning, I had no idea what it is that people were looking for. I thought they were just looking for photos of themselves. Nobody cared for the photos of themselves. They were looking to grow their business. Having a headshot was just one itty bitty piece of that big and larger puzzle that they were trying to accomplish. So when I started communicating with them after talking to so many people, communicating with them in that way so that I was having the right conversation. I was meeting them with the conversation they were already having in their heads, rather than talking about something that they didn't care about, right? If I'm sitting here talking about, oh, your headshot photos are gonna look so great, versus, you know, on LinkedIn, when you are trying to reach out to somebody, but they won't actually answer you because your headshot looks that horrible and they don't trust you and you have no authority with them, because they look at your photo and they think, no, I'm not replying to him because he doesn't look like he's been, you know, in this space for too long, because that looks like one of those wedding photos where their arm is cropped off and it's just like a floating head. When I have a different type of conversation that gets them to be like, oh yeah, actually that is really important to me, now they're more willing to listen. And so for you, as you are out there and meeting people and having these conversations, take note of what they're saying. So speaking of going out and networking, I will go now that I'm 10 years into this game, I will go out and go to different conferences, and when they're doing those Q&As, the questions, and they're asking the different speakers, I am not actually listening to how the speaker is answering. I'm actually listening to what are the questions that the attendees are asking, because those are really valuable questions, and what are the words that they're using as they're asking those questions, because then you can actually take that content and use it to communicate with your audience, because instantly you're going to build rapport with them because you are using the words that they are saying to explain their problems. So that's a little stealth tip there for you, a little ninja tip. But those are my 3 things that I would do different. Number 1, figure out who it is that you're talking to. Step number 2 is to create an irresistible offer that nobody is gonna be able to refuse. And then step number 3 is to get out there and find people you can give that offer to. Start off first in person and then move online to really be able to scale and grow and to talk to more people, you know, at one time. So hopefully that helps. Let me know what other questions you have. My next video, I'm going to be talking about what are the top 3 videos that I would do starting off as a new business owner in your space.